Hello, everybody in Facebook land. I said I was going to come on and do more Facebook Lives, and here I am, day 2 of doing Facebook Lives. I want to talk about this because this is really important. Well, first of all, let me introduce myself because a lot of you might not know who I am. I'm Brianna. I'm the founder of this group, and I help teen girls and young women end the vicious cycle of their mental health challenges so that they can rise above them and truly start loving themselves from the inside out. So let me know if you're joining me live. Hey, Mary. Oh, so good to see you. Let me know if you're here live. Comment below live. Let me know if you're watching the replay. Comment below replay. So I know I'm just not doing a little monologue here because, you know, monologues are fun and all, but it's more fun if I have this interactive. And also respond to this. Even if you're watching the replay, like let me know how this lands, if it's resonating with you, and I can always come back to this and respond to whatever you guys write. But I just got home and I was like, oh, before coming inside the house and getting into my groove and all that, I'm like, okay, let me just do a little quick Facebook Live in the car. So here I am in my driveway doing a Facebook Live. What happens when you love your daughter so much? And we often think that because your daughter is loved so much, that translates into how she feels about herself, and therefore she should love herself just as much as you love your daughter. And we simply know that that's not true. It's not true because there are so many parents in this Facebook group. I think we have over like 18,000 parents in this Facebook group. And I know all of you love your daughters so much, right? But the love that you have for your daughter doesn't actually equal the love that your daughter has for herself. And that's really, really important. And I want all of you to get that, right? Because a lot of girls come from amazing families, you know, a mom who loves her daughter dearly, a dad who's like all in and loves the daughter dearly as well. And it's like, and sometimes we're at a loss because we're like, wait a second, why is my daughter struggling so much? She's getting so much love. We have a great family, all of these things, like where is this coming from? And I know for a lot of parents, it's confusing. Why is my daughter cutting? Why is my daughter suicidal? Why did my daughter just try to take her life? Why is she so depressed? Why is she anxious? We don't get it. Brianna, what the hell is going on? Like, we don't understand where are all of these mental health challenges coming from? And why can't she see herself in the way that we see our daughter, right? And so a lot of you, if you're feeling that, put a 1 in the comments so I know you're with me on that. So I think for a lot of parents, it's confusing. It's confusing and it doesn't make sense why your daughters are struggling the way that they're struggling. And you're trying all the things and you're trying to love up on them and like, you know, doing everything you can, and you're still like at a loss because your daughter's not getting better. She's only getting worse, right, with her mental health challenges. So the love that you have for your daughter does not translate to the love that your daughter has for herself. 2 different kinds of love. And we need to be very clear with that because when it comes to the mental health of your child, your daughter has to actually do the work to find it within herself to truly start loving herself. Because this isn't really, look, mainstream approach doesn't even touch the surface of what is required for your daughter to love herself. They're looking at all the other things. I'm not saying the other things that they're looking at are not important, but if your daughter's suicidal, don't you think it's a good idea to build your daughter's confidence so that she can love herself and see herself in a different kind of way, a different kind of light, right? Again, the self-love topic is not even touched upon in the traditional approach. And that's a big problem. Same thing if your daughter is cutting herself. Don't we think that your daughter should really learn how to love herself so that when she wants to cut, she can actually show up in a different way for herself and realize that cutting is not the answer? And also, really, it comes down to your daughter's thoughts. What are your daughter's thoughts? What is she thinking to herself every day? Because thoughts of I'm worthless. Oh, hey, Shay, I've never seen you come on a Facebook Live. I told you I was going to do Facebook Lives. I think I told you. So here I am doing a Facebook Live in my car. What is happening with so many of these girls when they're saying to themselves, I'm worthless, I'm a piece of shit, I don't matter to anybody. I'm a failure. I'm a loser. I'm pathetic. I don't even deserve my own love. I don't deserve this space that I take up in this world. This is the shit that these girls are saying to themselves every single day. But then we're not putting like 2 and 2 together and we're saying, okay, we'll go on this medication, or okay, talk it out with a therapist. And when that's not working, what's left? What do we do? Right? We really need to take a look. What's going on with my hair? My hair is being weird today. We really need to take a look at what is being done to help your daughter to love herself, because that's where this all starts. And when there's so much self-hatred and there's so much self-loathing and there is so much unworthiness that is being felt in every cell of your daughter's being, this is where we've got to start. Otherwise, suicidal thoughts will continue to be rampant. Otherwise, your daughter is going to think that just checking out and ending her life is the solution, is the answer. And it is not. We know it is not the answer, but your daughter doesn't know that because she's living in her unworthiness every single day. She's looking in that mirror every single day, feeling like such a fucking failure, feeling absolutely hopeless. And that doesn't have to be the case. It doesn't. What is going on? I just went to acupuncture, and so there's like a line right here. So if you're like wondering like what is that, I just came back from acupuncture and I had a needle right in there. So anyways, it doesn't actually have to be that hard also to get your daughter to love herself, but it's not going to come from you. And if it hasn't come from therapy, it's not coming from therapy. And if it hasn't come from residential, it's not going to come from there either. So what we do with my approach in my program is to build these girls from the ground up. Because a lot of the girls who come into my program are literally on the ground. Some of the girls who come into my program have literally just tried to kill themselves. Some of the girls have just had horrible anxiety and depression for a very long time. Some of the girls have been cutting and don't know how to stop. Some of the girls have eating disorders and it's gotten bad, or maybe it's gotten better, but they're still in it. Right? So wherever they're struggling, or some of the girls are just so much self-loathing, or social anxiety, right? And they isolate themselves because they don't know how to even interact with the world because there's so much anxiety that comes up for them. So whatever it is that these girls are coming into my program with, we meet them where they are and we build them up. How do we build them up? Well, one, through the healing work that we do. We have to go revisit the past and heal that up and clean that up, because that is wreaking havoc on your daughter's life if she's struggling with her mental health. And, a lot of parents think, well, I send my daughter to therapy, so, she's doing the healing work. Not necessarily is it the right healing work, okay? I'm not here to place judgment on who's doing it right and who's doing it wrong. You can look at that based on how your daughter is showing up and what have you tried to help. Like, has it worked? Has it not? It doesn't take a genius to figure out if what you're doing is working or not. Just look at your daughter and her life. If she's still cutting, if she's still suicidal, then what you are doing is unfortunately not working. And please know that is no fault to your own. But what is not being talked about enough is actually healing the trauma, is actually giving these girls the self-love that they need so that they can rise above any of life's challenges. Because what happens when your daughter goes through some really hard challenges in life? Where does she go? Does she sink or does she swim? Does she rise to the occasion or does she fall to her knees and want to give up and want to kill herself? That is what we have to talk about. That's really the work. So when I talk about this approach of really building these girls up from the ground up, because some of these girls are literally on the ground when they come into my program. And so we're building them up. So we're helping them to heal from their past. We're helping them to heal from their trauma. We're helping them to heal from the painful experiences that they have endured. We're helping them to reframe their life, to see it differently, to create a new narrative and a new story that's going to serve and empower them, not debilitate them and make them feel like victims. We're clearing out that shame. We're clearing out that blame that has been stuck inside of them for so freaking long that they don't even know it's there, but it's there buried underneath all of the other trauma. So like underneath that trauma, we've got shame, we've got blame, we've got guilt. And that stuff needs to be healed and that stuff needs to be released, because every single day that your daughter is walking around with more shame and more blame and more guilt it's eating at her every single day. And what is this doing? It's feeding into depression. It's feeding into anxiety. It's feeding into suicidal thoughts. It's feeding into her cutting. It is feeding into her eating disorder. It is feeding into her self-loathing that she is dealing with every single day, so that when she looks in the mirror and she feels absolutely unworthy and undeserving of anything good coming into her life, this is where it all stems from. So, your love that you have for your daughter does not translate to the love that your daughter has for herself. And the love that your daughter has for herself, or the lack of love that your daughter has for herself, we need to start there. If you're ready for a new approach, watch my masterclass, Healing the New Medicine for Anxiety and Depression. I'll leave that link below. If you've seen enough right now and you know this is the real deal, which it is, by the way, because I don't bullshit anybody. I speak the truth unapologetically. And for some parents, they don't like it. For some parents, they don't want to hear it, because this is outside the scope of the traditional approach of what we think is the cookie cutter way to get your daughter her life back. But what happens when inpatient doesn't work? What happens when therapy doesn't work? What happens when medication doesn't work? What then? Do you have to waste years and years and years of your daughter's life to finally figure out that way didn't even work? You don't have to waste all that time. It's very interesting what I'm finding happening in my program right now. We are enrolling way, way, way more girls and young women who are older than who are younger right now. And I have a idea of why that is happening. So for those of you who don't know, my program includes group coaching and private coaching. It's a combination of both. And right now what we're seeing is my group of young women. So these are 18 and older. We go all the way up to 29. We have so many young women in that group. It's phenomenal. It's amazing. And my younger group is a lot smaller. And my feeling about this is that the older ones are sick and tired of their suffering, and they've been in this for a long time. They are sick and tired of their suffering, and they're ready. They're ready. And their parents are sick and tired of watching their daughters struggle. Because a lot of the girls that I have, the young women in their 20s, this is not their first rodeo. They've been struggling for so freaking long, and they're sick of it, and they're tired of it, and they're ready for something new. And so what I'm finding is a lot of, the younger ones, we don't have as many. We have still, we're still working with an amazing group of teen girls, but it's not as big as the group for young women. And so like I was saying, I feel like the 14-year-olds and the 13-year-olds and the 15-year-olds and the 16-year-olds, a lot of parents still haven't come to terms with, they think that the traditional approach is the only approach that's going to work for their daughter, because therapy backs it, because doctors back it. And that's what they're telling you when you take your daughter in, right? They're not telling you, hey, maybe you should find a coach that focuses on self-love and healing and really getting to the root cause. They're not telling you that. They will give you a prescription for Lexapro or Wellbutrin or whatever other medication they're going to give you. But they're not going to have one single conversation about healing the trauma. They will not have one single conversation about getting your daughter to the root causes. They will not have one single conversation about getting your daughter to love herself. Why? It's not popular. It's not mainstream, and it ain't traditional, and it's not cookie cutter either. So it's interesting because I feel like a lot of the 13 to 14, 15-year-old, kind of like the younger teens, some of them haven't been struggling for as long as the women who are coming into my program, the young women in their 20s, right? So a lot of parents fall into this category of kind of like, well, let's keep trying. Let's keep trying the traditional approach. Surely it's going to work. Surely the inpatient is going to work. Surely this medication is going to work, or this medication is going to work. Surely we'll just try a different therapist. That therapist is not working, but let's just try another one. So because a lot of parents haven't actually, I'm not saying this for everyone, but I'm saying there's a lot of parents out there that really haven't seen how messed up the mental health system is. And you don't really see it until your daughter is more in her 20s. And you really see how much time was being wasted. Again, nobody's fault, right? But a lot of people don't understand that there are other options other than traditional approach. A lot of people don't understand that there is something else that you can do besides putting your daughter on medication to mask the real root issues that are still inside of your daughter that have not been dealt with. So, if that's you, let me know. What is your daughter struggling with? Let me know in the chat right now. What is your... Oh, Missy, thank you. Amen. Thank you. Hello, Nicole. Hello, Tracy. This is what I want from you guys. I need interaction from you guys. I don't like doing these monologues, so I'm going to bounce in just a minute. Here's what I want from you. If you watch this, don't leave without doing a couple of things. 1, let me know you're here. Say live below or replay below. Whether you watch the live or you watch the replay, I'd appreciate that. 2nd, what is your daughter struggling with? I want to know. Is it depression? Is it anxiety? Is it low self-esteem? Is it cutting? Is it eating disorder? Is it suicidal thoughts? Is it suicidal attempts? I want to know what your daughter is doing, or excuse me, what your daughter is struggling with. And 3, I want to know what you have tried to help her. Is it working? Is it not working? Let me know. If it's easier to shoot me a private message, I promise I will answer every single private message that comes my way. Shay, I love you. Thanks for watching. I know you're a busy lady, so thank you for tuning in. So if you guys are more private people and you don't want to write all of your daughter's stuff, send me a private message. I personally will answer every single private message that comes my way. You can always send us an email. I will personally answer that myself. But if you want to just send me a DM or a private message and let me know what is going on with your daughter, I want to know. And let's figure this out together. If your daughter is struggling, I am here to tell you that that is optional. Your daughter doesn't have to struggle anymore. If she is open to receiving help, that's all we need to get her started. She doesn't have to be jumping for joy and being like, oh my God, I'm going to work on myself. Oh my God, I'm going to work on loving myself. Because most girls aren't like that. So they don't have to be jumping for joy and excited about doing all of this work. But you know what they need? They need to just be open to the possibility that this could actually help them. So leave that all below. I'll leave my masterclass. If you haven't watched it, I'll leave that below. And if you're ready to book a call, BriannaColeman.com/apply. Book that call and let's see about getting your daughter the help that she so desperately needs. If she needs it, and if she's not struggling, fantastic. But if she is, she needs this. She needs self-love. She needs healing. She needs empowerment. She needs all of this. And she needs it now, sooner than later. Because let's be real, the longer this goes on without your daughter getting the help and getting the transformation, the worse it gets. Not just for your daughter, but the whole entire family. Because this affects everybody. It affects everyone in the family. And you know it. Because it's affecting you every single day to watch your daughter suffer. So that's all I got for you. I'm out of here. Love you all. Peace.